The highest growth area of Dubai is the western side of Dubai. That's where we have the new airport that's just been announced in terms of its expansion. That's where so much activity is taking place. So we can actually get a lot of perspective by looking back and seeing how the area is transformed. And so if you're looking at this imagery here, this is from 1984. And the only thing you can see in this western part of Dubai is the Jebel Ali Port, which is built in the 70s, way ahead of its time. And then if you see through the 80s and 90s, the only real development that's coming up is just some roads. And then from only around 98, 99, you can see the outline of the Emirates Hills Golf Course. That's when we get freehold properties. That's when we get the development of the palms. And so this is what the map of Dubai looks like around 2005. So it was in the height of this frenzy and that huge growth that Dubai is experiencing that they announced Dubai World Central, which with the vision of becoming the world's largest airport. And that's when the whole story of this area takes another level. And this was not just an idea on paper. They started construction straight away. And you can see as this on the satellite imagery, by 2007, you can clearly see the outlines of a runway. And by 2010, even in spite of a global financial crisis, they kept building it and they opened this airport for operations in 2010. So by 2011, the real estate market has entered a period of revival. We have the Arab Spring, and Dubai survived that horrible time when everyone had written it off. And at this time, Dubai actually bids for Expo 2020. And so it was at the back of all of this excitement that the real estate market enters a real estate boom for the next 2-3 years. And Dubai does end up winning Expo 2020 in late 2013. And so on the back of that, major infrastructure projects, city improvements, new residential communities, most of the major communities that you hear about or live in today in Dubai are all built from that catalyst of winning Expo 2020. And so in 2016, we have the area rebranded as Dubai South. We see the first announcements of developments like Pulse Phase 1 and Emaar South, which is the major Emaar master plan built around a golf course on the west side of the airport. And then 2017, 2018, we have a lot of launches that take place here. By 2019, the market's kind of slowed down both in terms of the ready and off-plan market. And by 2020, we have the pandemic, which actually delays the Expo 2020 event by a full year. And that works perfectly for the government of Dubai. It allows them to perfect their plans, introduce a whole lot of regulation and legislation and reforms, and to just propel Dubai in a new age that they recognize pretty quickly post-pandemic. And so by the time Expo 2020 comes along, we already are in a strong real estate market, and the first residential projects launch in this area after a bit of a gap before Expo actually starts. So that's like Pulse Phase 2, Pulse Beachfront. And then the real story of Expo starts after it ends, as the government announces its plans to turn it into a major business district. Major UAE and foreign firms start developing their office space in this district, and then we see the first residential start as well. We see more plans come up for Etihad Rail. We see Expo City then turn into more of a cultural district as well. We see new projects launched like South Bay. We see the relaunch of Palm Jebel Ali. So all of these things start happening really, really rapidly. And so this is the real power of organic growth. This was 2011, and then if you kind of keep playing that forward, this is how we get to in 2022. And then most recently now in 2024, we have the announcement of Maktoum International Airport. Of course, that's something that's been building over 20 years. And now that fluid master plan is going to try to reimagine what an airport should look like. It will still be the world's biggest airport, but the major news coming out of it is that Emirates is going to move their entire operations here, which means that this is going to be Dubai's main airport. So now all of this coming together means that this is the most high growth area of Dubai. A lot of people look at some of the other Emirates if you're looking for more high growth, because large parts of Dubai are already quite mature, but this is the major city. And if you're looking for the highest growth area where the most amount of new activity is going to happen, it's all going to be built on this west side of Dubai, and it's going to happen quite fast. So this is how organic growth really happens. You're on an S-curve, it's underlying slow growth, which you can't feel for long periods of time, and then when it starts exploding, it really does. If you want to explore this area in more detail, we've actually been selling in this area since 2016. This is one of the areas in Dubai where we really zero in for long periods of time, and because we've tracked the markets for long periods of time, we have a lot of data and a lot of perspective, and a lot of that content we've previously put out on this YouTube channel as well. And of course, we are a real estate brokerage firm here in Dubai, so if you are looking for investment opportunities and like this, and you want to discuss that in more detail, you can hit the description box, learn more about us, and send us a message. We'd absolutely love to connect with you.
Because we were right on the edge of Dubai, quite a long way from Dubai. And was this something that was going to be a successful commercial venture, or would it not work? The accommodation for the labour on the site here it was a great opportunity at the time and a real high point for me and for my family. This degree to which Jebel Ali is right at the front of innovation in how you manage these large volumes of containers moving around the world, getting them sorted, getting them to the right place, moving things on quickly. That's my impression of Jebel Ali now, is this enormous innovation and efficiency of the way the port operates, and the fact that it's worked. It's attracted all this business. And it's really a great pleasure to know that something we built then that we weren't quite sure of, was this going to work? But this construction here was undoubtedly the high point of my career.